Long before reggae music, beaches, and sunshine made Jamaica famous, this island had a dramatic and powerful story. Many people lived, fought, suffered, and dreamed on this land. Empires wanted it. Pirates ruled it. Slaves struggled for freedom. From the first people who called it Jamaica to the birth of an independent nation, Jamaica's history is full of courage, pain, and hope. This is not just history. It is a story of survival. 1. Pre-colonial period, c. 600 to 1494. Long before Europeans arrived, Jamaica already had a rich human story. The first people came to the island around the year 600 or 650 AD. These early settlers are called the Redware people. They were skilled potters and made beautiful red pottery for daily life. They lived near rivers and the sea and used simple tools. Over time, new people arrived by canoe from South America. Around the year 800 AD, Arawak groups reached the island. The largest and most important group was the Taino people. They slowly became the main population of Jamaica. The Taino called the island Jamaica. This word means the land of wood and water. It described the forests, rivers, and fresh springs of the island. The Taino lived in round houses called bohayos. These houses were made of wood, straw, and palm leaves. They farmed the land and grew corn, yucca, sweet potatoes, and beans. Fishing and hunting were also important for food. The Taino believed in nature and spirits. They had stories, music, dances, and simple art. Each village was led by a chief called a cacique. The cacique helped make rules and keep peace. Life was mostly calm and closely connected to nature. This peaceful world would soon face great change. For many generations, these people lived quietly, shaping Jamaica's early identity before foreign ships ever appeared on the horizon from distant lands. 2. Jamaica under Spanish rule, 1494 to 1655. On May 5, 1494, Christopher Columbus arrived in Jamaica. He was the first European to see the island. Columbus came during his second voyage to the Americas. He described Jamaica as beautiful and full of water and trees. Spain soon claimed the island for its empire. In 1509, the Spanish built their first permanent settlement. It was called Sevilla la Nueva. From this town, Spain controlled the island. The Spanish forced the Taino people to work. They made them farm, carry loads, and search for gold. Many Taino died from hard labor. European diseases also spread quickly. The native population became smaller every year because Sevilla la Nueva was unhealthy and hard to protect. The Spanish moved the capital. In 1534, they chose a new town called Villa de la Vega. Today, this place is known as Spanish Town. It became the center of government and church life. As the Taino population collapsed, the Spanish needed new workers. Around 1518, they began bringing in enslaved Africans from West Africa. These people were forced to work on farms and in homes. Life was cruel and dangerous. Spanish rule in Jamaica was not very strong. Many Africans escaped into the mountains. Spanish control slowly weakened, and Jamaica became a quiet and neglected colony until a new power arrived. This period changed Jamaica forever and created suffering, resistance, and cultural roots that later shaped the island's struggles, identity, and long fight for freedom under foreign rule for generations to come across the Caribbean region. 3. The British invasion and the Age of Pirates, 1655 to 1700. In 1655, a British army attacked Jamaica. The leaders were Admiral William Penn and General Robert Venables. They fought against the Spanish forces on the island. Spain was weak and could not defend Jamaica well. After a short struggle, the British took control. Spain never returned to rule the island again. When the Spanish escaped, many enslaved Africans ran away. They hid in the mountains and deep forests. These escaped people formed free communities. They were called the Maroons. The Maroons lived independently and defended their land. They knew the mountains very well. This helped them survive and resist foreign control. The British needed protection against Spain. They turned Port Royal into a strong base. Port Royal became home to privateers and pirates. These men attacked Spanish ships and towns. The most famous pirate was Henry Morgan. He became rich and powerful. Port Royal grew fast and became very wealthy. People called it the wickedest city on earth. In 1692, disaster struck Port Royal. A huge earthquake shook the town. The ground opened and buildings fell. 2/3 of the city sank into the sea. Many people died in minutes. After this tragedy, the British moved power to Spanish Town. The Pirate Age slowly ended. This dramatic period left deep marks on Jamaica's history, shaping legends, resistance, and the island's future under British rule. 4. The sugar boom and slavery, 18th century. During the 18th century, Jamaica changed greatly. Pirates were no longer the main source of money. Sugar became the heart of the island's economy. Large sugar plantations spread across the land. Jamaica soon became one of the biggest sugar producers in the British Empire. Sugar made plantation owners very rich. It also made life extremely hard for enslaved people. Sugar farming needed many workers. The British brought hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans to Jamaica. Most came from West Africa by force. They worked long hours in hot fields. Many suffered from hunger, violence, and disease. The black population became much larger than the white population. Fear and control ruled plantation life. After Port Royal was damaged by earthquakes, fires, and storms, trade moved elsewhere. A small town called Kingston slowly grew. It had a good harbor and safe land. Merchants, ships, and warehouses filled the area. Kingston became the island's main trading center. Although Spanish Town remained the capital for many years, Kingston was more important for business. The sugar era shaped Jamaica deeply. It created great wealth for Britain. It also created deep pain and inequality. African culture, language, and beliefs survived through suffering. These roots became part of Jamaica's identity. The sugar plantations left scars that would later lead to resistance, rebellion, and demands for freedom across the island during the long struggle ahead. 5. Maroon Wars and Slave Rebellions, 1730 to 1800. As slavery expanded, resistance also grew in Jamaica. The Maroons were at the center of this resistance. They were descendants of escaped enslaved Africans. They lived freely in the mountains and forests. The British tried many times to defeat them. These conflicts became known as the Maroon Wars. The First Maroon War lasted many years. Fighting was hard and costly for the British. The Maroons used their knowledge of the land. In 1739 and 1740, peace treaties were signed. The British recognized Maroon freedom and land. In return, Maroons agreed to help catch runaway slaves. Famous leaders included Cudjoe and Nanny. Nanny became a symbol of courage and resistance. Resistance also grew among enslaved people on plantations. In 1760, Tacky led a major slave rebellion. Enslaved Africans rose up across the island. They burned plantations and fought soldiers. The revolt shocked British rulers. It was eventually crushed with great violence. Many rebels were killed or punished. Later, tensions rose again with the Maroons. The Second Maroon War began in 1795. This conflict ended badly for the Maroons. Hundreds were captured and sent away. They were deported first to Nova Scotia. Later, many were moved to Sierra Leone in Africa. These wars and rebellions showed a strong desire for freedom. They proved that enslaved people would never accept slavery quietly. 6. Emancipation and social unrest, 1800 to 1865. During the 19th century, Jamaica entered a time of change and tension. Slavery still existed, but resistance grew stronger among enslaved people. In 1831, a major rebellion broke out across the island. It became known as the Baptist War. The leader was Samuel Sharp, an enslaved preacher. He believed slavery was wrong and should end peacefully. When the revolt turned violent, plantations were burned. The British crushed the rebellion with great force. Many people were killed, but the message was clear. The event pushed Britain closer to ending slavery. In 1834, slavery officially ended, but a system called apprenticeship began. Former slaves still worked for their masters for low pay. This system caused anger and protest. In 1838, full freedom finally arrived. Many freed people left plantations and built new villages. Plantation owners then looked for new workers. They brought indentured laborers from India and China. These workers signed contracts but faced harsh conditions. Social tension continued across the island. In 1865, anger exploded in Morant Bay. Paul Bogle led poor farmers in protest. They demanded justice, land, and fair treatment. Governor John Eyre responded with brutal violence. Many people were executed, including Bogle and George William Gordon. The rebellion shocked Britain and changed Jamaica's political future forever. It marked the end of an era and the beginning of direct rule. Freedom had arrived, but equality and peace were still far away. These struggles shaped modern Jamaica and its long fight for dignity and justice for all people today still. 7. Crown colony rule and national movements, 1866 to 1938. After the Morant Bay Rebellion, Britain changed how Jamaica was governed. In 1866, the island became a crown colony. Local self-government was removed. Power, now, came directly from London. Many people felt voiceless and ignored. Life remained hard for poor farmers and workers. At the same time, new ideas about identity began to grow. In the early 20th century, Marcus Garvey became a powerful voice. He was born in Jamaica and later traveled the world. Garvey founded the UNIA to promote Black pride. He encouraged people of African descent to value themselves. His message inspired millions, even outside Jamaica. During the 1930s, the Rastafari movement appeared. It mixed religion, African identity, and resistance to colonial rule. Rastafari gave spiritual strength to the oppressed. Economic problems worsened during the Great Depression. In 1938, workers across Jamaica went on strike. They protested low wages and poor living conditions. These protests led to major political change. Trade unions were formed to protect workers. Two political parties also emerged. They were led by Norman Manley and Alexander Bustamante. These movements prepared Jamaica for self-rule. They gave people hope, organization, and a political voice. The long road toward independence had clearly begun. Despite hardship, Jamaicans learned to demand rights and dignity. This period shaped national identity and modern political life deeply. Voices, once silenced, slowly grew louder across the island. The struggle continued, but the future no longer seemed impossible. Change was coming through unity, courage, and shared purpose among ordinary people nationwide. 8. The Road to Independence, 1944 to 1962. After many years of struggle, Jamaica moved closer to self-rule. A major step came in 1944 with a new constitution. This constitution gave all adults the right to vote. For the first time, ordinary people could choose their leaders. Jamaica also gained limited self-government. Local politicians now had more power in daily affairs. This change increased political awareness across the island. In the 1950s, Jamaica joined the West Indies Federation. The federation aimed to unite Caribbean colonies into one nation. Jamaica became a member in 1958. However, many Jamaicans felt unhappy with the arrangement. They believed Jamaica paid more but gained less. Economic and political differences caused strong debate. In 1961, a national referendum was held. The people voted to leave the Federation. This decision cleared the path toward full independence. Political leaders played an important role during this period. Alexander Bustamante led the Jamaica Labour Party. Norman Manley led the People's National Party. Both supported self-government, though in different ways. Negotiations with Britain continued peacefully. Jamaica prepared its own institutions and leadership. On August 6, 1962, Jamaica became an independent nation. The British flag was lowered. The Jamaican flag was raised for the first time. Alexander Bustamante became the first prime minister. Independence brought pride and celebration across the island. People felt hopeful about controlling their own future. Although challenges remained, a new chapter had begun. Jamaica now stood as a free nation among the world. The long journey from colony to country was finally complete after centuries of struggle and sacrifice by many generations. 9. Post-independence Jamaica and cultural growth, 1962 to 1990. After independence, Jamaica focused on building its future. The economy began to change during the 1960s. The island depended less on farming alone. Bauxite mining became very important. Tourism also grew quickly. Hotels, beaches, and resorts attracted visitors from abroad. These industries brought jobs and foreign income. Jamaica also experienced a cultural explosion. Music became the island's strongest global voice. Reggae music spread messages of freedom and justice. Bob Marley became an international symbol of Jamaica. His songs carried Jamaican culture around the world. Language, fashion, and Rastafari beliefs also gained attention. Politics during the 1970s and 1980s were deeply divided. The People's National Party was led by Michael Manley. He supported democratic socialism and social programs. The Jamaica Labour Party was led by Edward Seaga. He favored free markets and close ties with the United States. Political violence increased during this period. Communities often felt fear and tension. Economic problems continued through the 1980s. Debt increased and living costs rose. In 1988, Hurricane Gilbert struck the island. It was one of the worst storms in Jamaican history. Homes, roads, and farms were destroyed. Recovery took many years and great effort. Despite hardship, Jamaican culture remained strong. Music, sport, and creativity continued to inspire pride. The post-independence years were not easy. However, they shaped Jamaica's modern identity. The island learned resilience through challenge. These decades showed both struggle and strength. Jamaica's voice grew louder on the world stage through culture, survival, and determination during a changing global era. 10. Jamaica in the 21st century, 1990 present. At the start of the 21st century, Jamaica faced new hopes and new problems. From 1989 to 2007, the People's National Party stayed in power. P.J. Patterson was Prime Minister for many years. His government focused on stability and development. Roads, ports, and public services were modernized. Jamaica also opened its economy to global markets. Foreign investment increased, but debt also grew. In 2010, a shocking event shook the nation. It became known as the Tivoli Incursion. Security forces entered Tivoli Gardens in Kingston. They were searching for Christopher Dudas Coke. He was a powerful gang leader with strong local support. Heavy fighting followed for several days. Dozens of people were killed. The event raised serious questions about crime, poverty, and state power. It deeply affected public trust and national debate. Economic challenges continued in the following years. Jamaica struggled with high public debt. The government worked with the International Monetary Fund. These programs required strict economic reforms. Many people felt the pressure of rising prices and limited jobs. Natural disasters also became a major threat. Hurricanes, floods, and droughts hit the island more often. In 2025, Hurricane Melissa caused serious damage. Farms, forests, and rural communities were badly affected. Recovery was slow and costly. Today, Jamaica continues to face global challenges. At the same time, its people remain creative and resilient. Music, sport, and culture still unite the nation. The 21st century tests Jamaica's strength, but also shows its courage, adaptability, and hope for a better future ahead despite hardship and uncertainty.